Welcome back. Before we went on break, we were discussing on one of the purpose of courtship. We said it's a period where we agree about our wedding proper. The intending couple said should reach an agreement whether the wedding should be elaborate or it should be a moderate wedding. Also, it's important at this point in time that during this period, we should be able to discuss about the venue of the reception. You know, at times after the wedding, some will have their reception right in the church, while some will prefer the reception to be in a hotel. They will rent a hall in a hotel. So all of this should be discussed during the courtship. Okay, during our wedding, are we going to still use the same venue, the church, as our reception, or we are going to rent a hotel elsewhere? We need to look into that also. Then one of the things also we need to look into at this point is our honeymoon. That after the wedding, where are we going to have our honeymoon? Are we going to have our honeymoon maybe in our newly rented apartment, or in our newly bought apartment, or we're going to have our honeymoon with our parents? Where exactly? We're going to rent a hotel, we're going to spend a hotel, we're going to travel out of the country. So all of this should be able, we should be able to come to an agreement, come to a term on this, where our reception, our honeymoon should take place. It's important also at this point in time to discuss about what should be served during the wedding and the reception, especially when you are a Christian. There are certain environments where alcohol is not allowed. Now, and to you, maybe your family people are coming, your friends are coming, maybe you belong to one organization or the other, and they are all coming. Maybe you have attended theirs, and then alcohol was served. So this should be discussed, that during this our reception, alcohol should not be served, or alcohol should be served, or whatever. All of this we should be able to discuss. Whether there are people who we must serve alcohol or not, are they allowed or not? Because that's the reason why it should be discussed, so that we wouldn't allow them to come in and at the end of the day they feel offended that way you brought us to your wedding, your reception, and then you didn't meet our demand and all of that. So all of this should be discussed during the courtship. And I think the best time to discuss this should be maybe a month or two to the wedding proper. All of these things, so that we know those that can be invited and those that shouldn't be invited during the wedding. Because when you invite them, you must meet that demand. Then also, one of the major important things we need to look at is that there should be an agreement on how and where we are to attend our wedding class, our marriage class. Like I said earlier in one of the episodes, I said, maybe we came from different church background. I came from a Catholic background, or you came from let's say a Pentecostal background. And then there must be a marriage class. We need to attend our marriage class. So where exactly are we going to attend our marriage class? Are we going to attend, we have seen situations whereby the woman is attending the marriage class from another church, and the man is attending the marriage class from another church. No, it's wrong. Except it's the same church but different branches. It's okay. You are in the other city, I am in this city, and then maybe you are in the village, I'm in the city. Coming all the time for us to attend the class may be a bit inconvenience for both of us, especially financially. Now, it's important we agree together. It's okay, you attend, since it's the same church, you attend. But now, in a situation whereby we are coming from different denominations, we should be able to agree this wedding, because it's going to hold in this church, the marriage class should be attended in that church. The church that is going to wed you is the church you should attend the marriage class. And then let's assume we are from different city. You're coming from a distance, and the other lady to be, your wife to be, is from another city. We should be able to discuss with the church. If they have branches, better, then we can go ahead and attend this training from the various branches in our cities. But if just one branch, then we should be able to discuss and come into agreement with the church how we can manage it, and the few times she's going to come around, so we could be able to also be able to attend the classes, and then get it done on the way. Please, I want to repeat. The marriage class should be done by the church that is going to wed both of you. Don't say where that is a honor I'm going to give to our church. I'm going to attend our marriage class in our church and all of that. No, it should be done in the church where you're going to do the wedding. The church that we organize the wedding is the church that the marriage class should be attended to. Now, also again, another very important point we need to look at is that during courtship, we must seek to know and understand each other's temperament. I remember I did mention this in one of the episodes. Temperaments, our temperament. You know, temperament seek to explain our peculiar behavior. Can I be able to cope with a sanguine husband or wife? You know, I read a book some time ago by Tim LaHaye. He said, I love you, but we have so many differences. That talks about our temperament. You know, I have just four major temperaments. We'll talk about the sanguine, the cholerics, the melancholy, the phlegmatics. We should be able to know that a sanguine is a talkative. If I have a wife who is a sanguine, it will be a loud wife. A loud wife, a hot temper most of the time. If my wife or my husband is a choleric, is person that is a kind of self-sufficient. You know, we should be able to understand this thing. It's a kind of a born leader. And all of that. So we should be able to understand our temperament. When we talk about the melancholy, we're talking about somebody who is very analytical. Now, the reason for this is because these are the peculiar behaviors that are going to come up in the life of the person in the union. So I should be able to know where this person I'm marrying, because of his temperament, is analytical in nature. He's a good listener. But most of the time, he may lack, they lack self-control, self-confidence. In other words, they need a lot of love also. And then we should be able to understand, if I'm going to marry phlegmatics, it's always a calm person, so that you won't complain where my husband is always calm, he's not talking. I needed someone who can talk, but my husband doesn't talk. But you didn't take note at the initial time that the person you are marrying is a phlegmatics. So we'll be able to know that he is a calm person by nature, by his temperament. And he has a very high retentive memory, because that's one thing you note about them. They have a very high retentive memory, because the things you are going to do, he will begin to repeat word to word. He said, my husband, I don't know the kind of man I got married to. I don't know the kind of wife I got married to. The things that happened several years ago, he will repeat them word to word. The reason is you didn't pay attention on his temperament. His temperament defines his unique personality. So during courtship, we should be able to seek to know each other's temperament. Very, very important in courtship. Now, at this point, now we're going to shift to something a bit better and a bit bigger. How to accomplish our purpose in courtship. How do we accomplish? We have talked about the purpose of courtship. So how do we accomplish this purpose in courtship? Number one of the easiest way to accomplish our purpose in courtship is that the courtship should be devoid of sexual intercourse. The courtship should be devoid of any sin or sexual activity. It should be devoid. If sex is involved, one of the things you must understand is that your sense of judgment is clouded. That's one of the major things. When the courtship is characterized with sexual intercourse, your ability to judge right, your ability to take decision is clouded by that intercourse. You know, where we read earlier in Matthew chapter 1, when you look at verse 18 and 19, Joseph was quick and bold enough to say, well, I'm going to put away Mary. Why? Because there was no sexual relationship between both of them at the period of their courtship. There was no sexual relationship. So Mary couldn't have said that, well, you are the one, because there was no sexual intercourse all through the courtship period. So he was bold enough to say, well, I'm going to put her away secretly. I wouldn't want anybody to know, but I'm going to put her away. So one of the things you must seek to do is that ensure at all costs that there was no sexual activity in the course of the relation. Secondly, is openness to each other in terms of intruders. You know, during courtship, like I did say, we should be able, it's a period where we should seek to let other suitors know about our decisions, our final decision to go ahead with brother so and so or sister so and so. But now, there are times within the courtship where the same brother will still want to try his luck, or sister want to still try her luck. Maybe just organize a wonderful and a glorious, or divinely orchestrated or whatever test and send to your phone. But then, as soon as you see someone advancing, you should be able to let your partner know, say, dear, it looked like the way brother so or sister so and so is calling now, I don't understand him. Where it seems he's still trying to come back again. You should be aware. The reason why you should be aware of every move, of every intruder, is that maybe you are together and a text message arrived from the same person. He could boldly say, this was what he was saying. But if you didn't tell it, it's going to take a long time to defend. He may assume that you have been receiving these messages and deleting them. He's going to assume that you are playing seek and hide game with him. He's going to assume that you are playing several things unaware to him. There are things he doesn't know. He's going to begin to assume that your life, your credibility is questionable. He's going to assume that I think something should be looked into about you. He's going to begin to take a second thought. He's going to begin to try to study you better, study you deeper. So ensure you open up. This person is calling me again. This person is sending me message again. This person is chatting me. Look at the kind of messages he's sending. The man and the woman should open up to each other every time there is an intruder. And then it's important also at this point in time, the next thing that must be done to be able to accomplish our purpose of courtship is that we must put out the old spoils of war. I'm going to explain. We must learn to put out the old spoils of war. You know, as much as you must avoid talking about your ex in courtship, which we have talked about already. You silent everything about your ex, on all of that. People you have met in the past and all of that, how good they are, how helpful they are and all of that. All of this should be silent during the courtship period. Now, but at the same time, there are certain things about them that should be put away. Whether their strength, their weaknesses should not be talked about. You don't talk about, if it were to be, the way you talk to me, I don't like it. If it were to be Mr. A, if it were to be Sister B, she doesn't talk to me like this. He doesn't talk to me like this. All of this should be put away. You are with another person entirely, and it therefore demands that you should expect a different approach to the same issues or the same character. Maybe when you talk before, the man will overlook. That may be due to his temperament. But this man is another temperament. Maybe when you shout before, the lady doesn't react. But this one reacts. Maybe that may be due to his temperament. So all of these things should be put aside. Don't compare him. Don't compare her to your ex and say, I think the way you do things now, I don't just like it. If it will be my ex, he doesn't say this, he doesn't do that, and all of that. So all of this should be put away because you are going on a new journey, and it requires you should put on a new attitude, never accepting the things that happened in the past. Again, it's important again at this point in time. One of the things again that you must put into practice and into consideration if the courtship purpose must be achieved is that it's called the realization of your defense. You must realize that you are responsible to defend yourself. In courtship, we mustn't be 100% relaxed. Yes, you must not be 100%. There should be some level of strictness. There should be some level of letting the person know you should maintain his boundaries. You maintaining your boundaries. You see, you may want to maintain your boundary, but the other person wish to break the boundaries. So in courtship, you have the responsibility to let him know, no sir, you can't go that far. No man, no, stop it there. So it is our personal, if we must accomplish the purpose. Remember I said that when sexual activity is involved in a courtship, the judgment, the sense of judgment, a lot of things is clouded already. So therefore, you have the personal responsibility, not him, not she. We have individual personal responsibility to defend ourselves and say, no, sorry sir, I can't come at this point in time. We're going on a short break and I'll be back after the short break. God bless you.